In a world where everyone says hello,
they dare to say,
g'day.
Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, g'day!
Yeah, g'day. Yes, good day. Yeah,
G'day.
G'day. Yeah, g'day. Yeah,
Day.
yeah, good day.
Wow, wow!
Yeah,
Yeah, g'day!
G'day. Hey, yeah, g'day. Yeah, g'day, Tim.
Yeah, g'day, Leon.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Yeah, g'day, everyone.
Welcome to Yeah, G'day, the complete guide to Australia.
The whole guide. Nothing. If it's not in this guide, it doesn't exist.
Nothing's left out. Tim, the podcast sounds a bit different.
It's got a little bit more of a raspy sound to it.
Not
today.
that different.
Oh.
No, that's me. Like, I'm hungover. Yes, thank
Yes.
you. And so are you. So that's
Yes.
fine. Everyone,
Yes.
just get it in your head that this episode's going to be a real laugh.
Yeah.
No, the podcast as a whole sounds different.
Oh.
A little bit familiar, but not too familiar.
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
did you know that this week we were launched and signed on with Auscast Network?
I did know that because I've been part of the process, but our listeners didn't.
been
So
part
I'm
of the
sure
con.
they're incredibly shocked, proud, amazed. It's a big thing. It's
No, it is.
happened this week.
It's big and it's exciting. So we've moved our luscious voices over to the Audio Boom platform, but that shouldn't affect anyone. You should be getting it anyway. It's all the computers do it all for you. Really, it's all
No, in today's modern technology, all you got to do is bloody press a button in it. So
yeah, it's the bloody RSS feed.
Yeah.
So we've done that. So amazing. Like we've had good chats with Liam and Andy, and those guys have really been hooking us up. So we're stoked. So check out that network. We'll talk a bit more about it maybe at the end. So check out the network and see the other shows they have. But we're just really excited. But not
good stuff.
nearly as excited, Tim, as the whole nation,
Oh,
if not the world,
they're trembling with anticipation.
because this weekend will be the AFL and the NRL Grand Final.
Ooh, it's footy weekend. It's the
Crowd
big
goes
one. Sports and all day, all night. No, mostly just the day. By
Now-
the night, they get drunk and do things they probably shouldn't. But it's footy weekend.
Yeah, and everyone knows from listening to the show, like Tim and I, well, we love our sport.
Oh yeah, there's nothing like just a group of men out on the field just kicking a ball to this guy, then back over to this guy. Then they kick it to the other guy, and then they score a goal, and the crowd goes pretty crazy, actually. Yeah.
Nothing better than a couple of sports points between some sports friends, I
Yeah.
find.
Oh,
I
definitely.
think that's what they call each other on the field, the sports friends.
Yes. Pass it to me, sports friend.
Hello, we're the Adelaide Crows, and we are the sports friends.
Yeah.
So it's like, aside from Tim and I, everyone else is pretty fucking excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited because we get Friday off.
Oh, yeah. To talk about how good Melbourne is and the best decision we've ever made in our life, if you move down here, you get a public holiday because of the AFL Grand Final.
Yeah, they love it down here, clearly, and we get to take full advantage of that, so thank you.
Thank you. So today, I thought that we could talk a bit about the football. Tim, do you know anything about the AFL and NRL history?
Not really, but I've been having a little look, and I could probably relay the information to you and our listeners. Shall we start with the AFL?
We should. The
AFL?
Australian Football League.
Yeah, that's what it's called, correct. But did you know that it actually wasn't called that originally? It was called the Victorian Football League.
The VFL.
The VFL. Started in 1897. 6 of the strongest clubs in the Victoria area. So we had Collingwood, Essendon, Fitzroy, Geelong, Melbourne, South Melbourne.
Oh, all the great Melbournes.
Everyone in South Melbourne thought, nah, we got to have our own team. Fuck it.
Melbourne.
They broke away from the Victorian Football Association, the VFA,
Okay.
to create the VFL,
Oof.
to establish a more professional competition.
Oh,
It
the
wasn't
VFA.
professional.
Oh,
It wasn't. Like anyone that knows anything about the VFA knows it was just a shit show from start to finish.
That was all over the place. Sure.
So anyway, they eventually invited 2 more clubs, Carlton and St Kilda, and on it went. Like, it's a long history. I'm not going to regale you with all of it, but I don't know when they changed their name. Probably something I should have checked earlier.
When they
shouldn't
changed from VFL to AFL.
Yeah.
Well, the VFL still exists.
Oh, really?
So the VFL games are like the lower grade. So AFL is the top tier, and VFL is just kind of under that. They play the games on TV still.
There
I
you
know
go.
things.
You do know things. You know more than me, and I'm supposed to have looked this up.
You
Look, in terms of how the season plays out, they usually have a little bit of a pre-season play around. Each team will play a 3-game sort of thing just to get warmed up, get in the spirit
you've
of
got
it all.
to. You've got to.
Yeah. Then you got the Premiership season when everyone plays and get their points and the point ball things and all that sort of stuff. And, they get on some kind of ladder, I believe. All of these guys on one ladder.
Yeah, one person
seems
from
dangerous,
each team
but
has
yeah,
to stay on top of the ladder the whole time.
yeah. But and then they have the final season, which is the last kind of 4 weeks, which is September, which we're in right now, where they battle it out to be the biggest, baddest boys on the block.
Yeah,
like that
and
alliteration.
Spoiler alert, the biggest, baddest boys on the block this year, Adelaide Crows and the Richmond Tigers.
Yeah, and they'll be going head to head. Ooh, it'll be a big one, I think. I don't know anything about this game or the people.
You didn't bet in the AFL, did you?
Bet on it?
Yeah.
No.
Not bet, sorry. Tipping
Oh,
comp.
like a tipping comp?
Yeah.
No.
I joined the tipping comp at work because I started work like a week after the AFL season started. Excuse me. And I joined the comp with no understanding of AFL whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I stayed in like second or third pretty much the whole time until some people used like a bonus point system that got them up higher than me. But I was like, screw you guys. I don't know anything about this game. I'm just guessing.
Why do they have cheat codes for a tipping competition? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, you just put in left, right,
Yeah.
XO, and then you type nothing is real into the keyboard, and you get a cheat code for the AFL. But yeah, so I am actually an AFL genius.
Fabulous. Well, yeah, that's how AFL works. That's the history. For NRL,
So the National Rugby League.
National Rugby League, but has similar origins. Originally started as the NSWRL, the New South Wales Rugby League.
What a dumb name.
That was 1908. It's younger.
Oh, yeah, it's a baby, really.
It's a baby, yeah. And that was obviously just pretty much New South Wales till the 1980 when they had the first State of Origin. State of Origin, for people who don't know or don't really follow NRL
or care,
which is or care, is Queensland versus Australia.
The bloody Toads versus the cockroaches.
Yeah,
that's what we used to be. I think it's all changed now.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah.
But yeah, so that's the big one, and there's like 3 games a year of the State of Origin. It's a big deal, apparently. And then they changed their name. They only changed their name. Oh, they changed their name to ARL,
the Australian Rugby League.
Yeah. That was in 88, I think.
Right.
Because they started to get like Queensland teams and stuff.
Right.
And then they changed it to National Rugby League.
Yes.
And that was only in like 1998.
Really?
They made that change, yeah. So it's only been the NRL for like a really short period of time.
So there was a good chunk of my life there that it was ARL. I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Right.
But this game's played a little different.
It is. It is. And
I don't really know how the structure of their I think it's the same as AFL. They just have the Premiership season and all the points and
Sports boys
on the ladder. These boys are a little chunkier, so the ladder's probably under a little bit more stress.
Chunky yet funky.
Yeah, and yeah.
There is a significant difference between the body of an AFL player versus a NRL player because NRL boys are stocky brick shithouses.
Yeah, there's some variation. Like you got the little guys who whip around a bit and stuff like that, but most of them are pretty tank. Yeah.
I say stocky. They're not short though. They're pretty huge though. But then the AFL players are like 7 foot tall and string beans that just jump.
Yeah.
Pure muscle.
Yes, and they know how to kick those ones, boys.
Like every Australian animal. And the interesting thing about that history is it kind of now makes sense to me because I've always been confused why NRL is so New South Wales centric and AFL is so Melbourne centric, and that all makes sense now.
Yeah, well, that's how it all works. And now they both have teams from everywhere. I don't think the NRL has it from as many states as AFL, but AFL has every state except Tasmania and not Northern Territory, but that's not a state technically. Ooh,
Yeah.
fun fact.
So
Did the ACT have a team? I don't
No,
know.
Canberra.
That's
I don't
technically
think
not
so.
a state either. So
So the NRL has New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria.
South Australia and West Australia, definitely.
What, in NRL?
Oh, not in NRL.
No.
sorry. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Those three places. And then, AFL got it.
AFL's a little more inclusive, you know?
Yeah, they just want everyone to have a go. They also take games, like they had a game... I think they had a game... No, they didn't have a game in Tasmania. I don't know anymore.
They played in China once.
Did they?
Yeah.
Actually?
Don't know why.
AFL or NRL?
AFL.
What?
Do you ever think, I just want to go to China and watch Geelong play the fucking the Pies,
The sports
you know?
boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I was
hard.
trying to think of a second team. I was struggling there.
The interesting thing about... so I grew up in an NRL family and was into it for a while there. And I think I'm one of the only ones in my family now that doesn't really care anymore. But the NRL, it's like not everyone's into it.
Yeah.
Like people are into it, and there's kind of a demographic that are into it, but not everyone.
Yeah.
Literally in Melbourne, every person is into the AFL in some way,
Definitely.
no matter like their age or anything. Like you go to the AFL and there are like thousands of grandmas there that just like knit and watch the game, and everyone in the office at work has an opinion to talk about it. Like it's
Every
mental.
time come into contact with someone new and tell them, I just moved down, one of the first questions, within the first 3 questions they'll ask me is, have you gotten into the AFL yet? What team do you support? Always. And I'm always like, no, and I have no idea. I've got nothing going
No,
on.
and please go away.
I live near Hawthorn, so those guys, except they're doing terribly, I think. So,
Well, yeah, it's over now. So-
we live near Richmond, so we can jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, we could. We could. So we. What was that? That was like beginning of the year. It was in the first couple of games. We went to the sports ball and saw the Geelong Cats play the Hawthorn Hawks.
Yes, we did.
And boy howdy did Hawthorn lose.
Oh, they all lost big time.
Don't know how they lost because I don't understand what was happening, but they lost.
Yeah.
So we went to that. That was actually really fun. I wouldn't mind going.
It was
again.
pretty fun, yeah.
The MCG, which if you are ever in Australia or you're ever in Melbourne or that, you need to go to that stadium. It's actually phenomenal.
Go see something at the MCG, whether it be AFL or the cricket, which we're about to go into cricket season
can't
as well.
wait.
So
I'm going to go to some cricket.
yeah,
We'll get to
I
that.
don't mind cricket. Cricket is a sport that I can deal with. I don't mind it. Yeah.
This isn't a cricket podcast, though, is it? Bloody AFL, NRL.
Nah, bloody.
But the NRL, I've seen many games in my time. But so we decided to do this topic because obviously the grand final's coming up, and we always, how we do our podcast. You've listened to it so many times. Even the new listeners know. You all know we do a bit of facts here, and then we do some fun stories. It's really hard, Tim. It's really hard to Google
What?
funny stories in AFL and NRL or
Yeah.
funny facts.
It's
or
not
anything.
a funny subject, mate. This
not-
is serious stuff.
It's not about laughing. It's about playing and playing to win.
It's about a bunch of boys getting to know each other in a
they're
physical sense.
They're just mates. The thing is, though, is that Tim and I reckon that we could explain the rules of the game without knowing much. So, what do you want to explain first? You want to explain AFL or NRL?
Oh, I have no idea. NRL, because that's the one that we actually do probably know a little bit about.
We know something about it. So, there are 2 teams,
2 teams.
approximately 40 players on each side.
Okay. Occasionally there'll be a third team. That's called a wild card game. And at any point, they can blow the whistle, and one of the teams has to run off and be replaced by the third team. It's a very complex game.
It's going to be dangerous. The head of the NRL, which I'm pretty sure is Phil Gould, is sitting there listening to this podcast going, all right, boys, we're changing the rules of the game because this shit sounds amazing.
Yeah, I would watch that game. That's incredible.
Imagine
It's so hard to keep track of what's going on.
Imagine a game with 40 person on each team, 40 people on each team,
Yeah.
and then changing one of the teams out continuously. So in those teams of an unknown number, there's a ball shaped like a goose egg, but a bit larger.
Goose egg?
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah,
It was
good.
based on a goose egg. It's probably an emu
Why?
egg.
Based on a goose egg. They were like, okay, we've got this new sport. We want to kick a goose egg. And they're like, no. We can't do that. There's not enough geese eggs around.
Animal
so
rights will go mental.
Why don't we make a ball?
Like a goose egg. And the aim of the NRL, there are 3 aims. One is to score tries.
Yes.
One is to convert tries.
Convert
And
tries,
one
yeah.
would be to kick a field goal.
Yeah, but you don't bother with that unless you're really
Unless you really need it. Or,
in the last little bit.
especially in Golden Point, which is a whole other thing. Golden Point is when the NRL is tied, they go into overtime, and whoever scores the first sports point wins, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Or they have a certain period of time.
They're very different in the way they're structured as well. So NRL is it's basically two lines running at each other.
Yeah, have you ever just thought, I want to get a good number of big boys,
Yeah.
and I want them to run at each other?
It's kind of like, it's almost like, because it's not as two lines running at each other as like gridiron in America, but
Yeah.
it's like a halfway point between AFL, which is definitely not that. That's just a
No.
clusterfuck, and we'll try and explain that in a second. But it's like the halfway point where they're kind of running at each other, and there's a lot of tackling going on, and seemingly unnecessary throwing to the ground and stuff. When you watch it, I don't know.
Oh, my favorite thing when you watch it is, so in NRL, if you tackle someone, first of all, that you're not meant to tackle them too high, but now the game's changed now. You can bloody tackle anyone wherever you bloody want.
Ugh.
But seriously, every time I watch it, I'm always like, to me, layperson who's played some touch footy and some NRL, I'm always like, wouldn't the best thing be to grab the big boy around the leg so he falls? And they're like, no, I'm going to grab him by the shoulders. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Make sure he's got a good steady stance so he doesn't tip over to it.
They get like 4 people. But when you tackle someone, you've got to get off them in a certain period of time where you get like a penalty or that.
Yeah.
So when they tackle, the boy like on the bottom of the tackle, he just flails like a fucking worm. He
Yeah.
goes nuts. He's like, oh, get off me, you dickhead.
It always seems so weird, like they weren't expecting to be tackled, and they're like, this is so stupid, get off, mum. Yeah,
Oh, I thought I was playing
like,
AFL.
mate,
Don't tackle me.
this is part of the game. You've been playing this for a while.
Yeah, so they did. So and with the try, the conversion and the field goal. So a try is 4 points. A converted try is another 2 points. So you get 6 points for a converted try. And then a
Field
conversion
goals.
is a kicking a goal. I don't know if that does that. Like, that doesn't make sense if you just tell someone it's converted. 'Cause,
Yeah, converting. So yeah, they just line it up, and then he kicks it through the big H.
Yeah, wherever they score the try on the try line, they then walk back 80 paces. I've got no idea, and then they just line it up and then they kick it.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes hilarious because I'll be like basically in the stands with like the crowd. And they're like, "It's all right, I'm gonna get it." Can you just move your head? And then a
Big paces.
field goal is worth 1 point, man. What's the point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I guess, how the game goes.
That's the game.
It goes for 80 minutes, 2 40-minute halves.
Yeah.
Halftime entertainment is horrible. Although once, get this. So when the X-Men movies came out, I was at the football watching the Mighty Eels play another team not as mighty. And then they had people fucking parachute into the stadium dressed as like, in the X-Men, like black lycra thing.
That's pretty cool.
It was dope. I think I got something X-Men related from that as well. And that's how I got my role on the Wolverine. They saw me as a kid and they went,
Yeah.
this guy's going to be someone.
As they were parachuting in, they spotted Leon in the crowd and said, that guy, he shouldn't be here. He needs to be in a film.
They looked at Dad's beard and they go, this kid's going to go somewhere with
Yeah.
beards. I literally think that is my extent of knowledge. There's so much more to it. There are penalties, there are like subtle strategies in that, but
Yeah.
essentially the game is run at each other.
Scrums,
tackle.
which don't make sense to me.
Scrums in NRL are now a waste of time.
Yeah.
So scrums used to be, it's like you get your boys together and they lock arms and heads.
It's like a circle of boys
Yeah, it's like
battling it out.
it's like when you get to the end of a karaoke night where you circle around with all your mates and you sing Wonderwall, but
Yeah.
this is in a scrum. And it used to be you put the ball in the middle and all the legs would go around. They'd be like, get off your dickhead, and they'd kick it out to their sports boy outside. Now it is literally the boys do the same thing.
They just roll it through.
Yeah, but the boy just like
edge of it.
They just pass it to the team that has it. Like there's no need for this scrum.
Yeah.
And it's funny watching refs because ref will be like, "Oi, nah, do it right." It's like, why? It doesn't matter. Like just give them the ball.
Yeah.
But there's all that shit and I don't understand it. But I watched the State of Origin this year down here with people from work, and it's very interesting being down here because now I am the sports guru who knows the NRL. And I still surprisingly got excited.
Yeah, right.
Like if you told me that you were going to go watch the NRL, I'd be like, no thanks. But I was watching it on team, and my favorite saying is Dad's go-to line when he's watching sport is "Go son,
Yeah.
go son."
Go, son.
And now I say it at work all the time. But that's the NRL. I think we've literally
That's it.
covered it.
Yeah. That's the definitive guide to the NRL.
It is. If you're ever thinking about playing, just listen back to that.
Yeah.
AFL.
I don't even know where to begin because the reality is I have no idea what's going on. All I know is up each end there are 4 posts. You get them through the center posts, they get 2.
Oh, it's more than that, but I literally couldn't tell you.
The ones on the sides is like maybe 2.
And I think the ones
in the middle are like 6 maybe.
I can just imagine all these Melbourneians in their cars right now just going, 5, you idiot, like screaming at the car radio.
There's different points depending on which ones you kick them through. And it's a big circle. It's not like in a NRL, the field is square.
It's a rectangle, yeah.
Rectangle. Sorry.
Don't be an idiot.
How would they play in a square? No, it's a rectangle. And in AFL, it's just a big oval.
But see, the thing is that, again, one thing that AFL does logically is that they have a circle, so they call it like an oval. It's like NRL still calls it an oval, and it's a fucking rectangle.
Yeah.
But the NRL has a set field size. It's like 100 meters or 100 yards or whatever it is, plus a little bit extra for the trial. The AFL has guidelines of between this size and this size.
So it could.
So there's regulations, but it's just like, our field is this big. It's like so random. I actually heard a really good, explanation of, what's that thing? AFL. We're talking to this guy recently, and he said, he's a rugby union player, which is a whole other kettle of fish. He said that AFL is essentially like when you just give a ball to a bunch of kindergarten kids and see what they do.
Yeah, right.
That's essentially what AFL is.
Yeah.
Because everyone at work's always like, it's easy to understand. You just kick it through the post. I'm like, yeah, but there's all this other shit going on where they're running at each other.
Kicking it to each other on the field and marking. That's something I understand.
Yeah, if they catch it on the full, they get a mark, which
means everyone has to back off and let the sports boy kick it again.
Yeah, but the reason that makes no sense to me is like part of their job is to catch the ball. So they're just doing their job and they're getting rewarded for doing their job. It's like, you caught the ball, here's a mark.
Kids these days, they're bloody rewarded for everything.
They've got like 80 umpires that are blowing whistles and running around.
Yeah.
It's
a big field too.
The MCG one, I was like, I would be dead. But they all they end up like clustering in kind of one area depending on how the game's going. But people at work keep telling me they tackle in AFL. I have literally never seen anyone get tackled in AFL.
Yeah, I've seen them like try to, but they always get the ball off like before the guy gets to them. So it's always like a really like half-assed, like they'll just like touch them as they go past sort of thing.
Yeah, but they don't like jump to the ground. Also in the AFL, there are rules like you can only go a certain distance and you have to like bounce the ball. They do this thing where they bounce it, like they throw and they bounce it.
Yeah.
Or, like, you got to pass it off or kick it or something like this. But like, I think that's like, it's like 10 steps or some shit, and then you have to do it. And yeah, they just run around.
No double dribbling, I assume.
Yeah. Then they throw it to the hoop. It's like basketball. Was I watching basketball? So yeah, it's like I don't know. There's also the golden snitch, which they have to catch.
Whoever catches it first gets 150 points for their team
and wins the game, because that's the most logical way for that game to go.
Yeah.
The boys. Yeah, it's a fine game to watch. I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more about it as we live here for longer.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But the fans and the crowds are great at these things. They also have hot jam donuts, which, mind you, is a fucking genius idea.
I do love stadium food.
Stadium food is good, and to harken back, whatever it is, 2 episodes ago, a fucking meat pie and a sausage roll at the footy.
Yes,
bloody Australian, isn't it?
Yeah, or a hot dog.
Yeah, right. What did you get last time? You got like a bratwurst. Like, you're getting fancy.
I kind of regretted it. They had other like better stadium food later, but I was so hungry. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know why we told that story.
You just get hot chips, meat pies. That's up, actually. We should briefly touch on the actual experience. You get hot chips, you get meat pies. You get a beer or a drink when you're there.
You sit somewhere up in the sky because you can't afford to pay for the reserve tickets.
You can't afford a box, a cardboard box. I maintain whether you like sport or not. I think people should go to more sport because it's just
the event's fun,
an interesting atmosphere. Like, we went to the AFL, we literally had no idea what was going on, but we cheered and we yelled.
People yell shit out, and some of them are quite funny.
Yeah,
whether intending to or not, some of them are quite funny.
I'll share the things after my show because that's one of my jokes. I don't want to ruin it. But let's all go to more
AFL.
sport.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense how much these boys get played though.
Yeah, support these sporting corporations. They just don't have enough money.
These boys just get paid a lot to do stuff.
Yeah.
So in my research, I came across a few different things that I wanted to share with everyone.
Ooh.
There was
Share
one
time.
list that was like the best quotes, and none of the quotes were good aside from this one from Lee Matthews in 2001. You know Lee Matthews from the AFL. Bloody Lee
Lee.
Matthews.
Yeah. He was around for dinner the other day.
His quote is, "If it bleeds, we can kill it."
That sounds like a Crocodile Dundee quote.
Bleeds, it can kill it. It's a bit full on, isn't it?
A little bit.
I think it looks like the whole quote is he told his players, "If it bleeds, we can kill it, and we reckon Essendon can bleed." So these boys went out there to kill the other team.
Can they be charged on that? Is
On
that
what
enough
charge?
evidence to indict them?
I just reckon that that's a bit. They obviously don't understand the game like we do. They're trying to.
Bad sportsmanship, mate. Bad
it's about
sportsmanship.
mateship.
Yeah.
But I also found two stories that are kind of like tales from people about outside and kind of inside NRL AFL things.
Yeah.
So this story is from the NRL, and it's founded on Reddit, so I think it's real. It says,
Definitely
Dad
happened.
reckons during the 73 Kangaroos tour somewhere overseas, Arthur Beetson snuck a barbecue into his hotel room, which only had a tiny window for ventilation, and started cooking up a feast for everyone. Smoke poured down the hallway, as you can imagine. Fire alarms and tomfoolery followed until he was told to stop / the steaks were ready. And then the guy said, "Not sure how true the story is because Google can't find it and Dad's probably making it up." I don't think so, mate. This sounds like a bloody good story.
Sounds like it happened. Sounds like your dad was there. Actually, how did his dad know that this happened?
This is true. Maybe his dad is Arthur Beetson.
Ooh.
That's a very Australian thing. We're going to go overseas, but I want a barbecue.
None of this bloody foreign food. Oh,
Fried food? No, thank you.
get
I'll
me a
have
piece
real-
of metal, heat it up, and let's put some meat on it.
I just love the part of that story where it's like, until he was told to stop / the steaks are ready. It's like, oi, stop. No. Just give it a little longer.
They're almost done, mate. They're almost
Doing
done.
the classic dad thing of, no, they're right.
Yeah.
They're dad, they're burnt. No, they're okay.
Give him another turn, mate. Give him another turn.
They only turn them once, you don't want to fiddle with them. But this story from the AFL is possibly my favourite story. I laughed and cried a little bit when I heard it. I don't want to build it up too much, but it's a very good story. So this is also from Reddit, and it's about the AFL. Some random game at Etihad a few years ago with Hawthorn playing. Dad and me were watching Damien Monkhurst in the bench. I don't know who Damien Monkhurst is. In the bench, demolish 3 wraps, a sandwich, and a Snickers bar during the game whilst coaching from the bench. This
Nice.
coach boy is just like, fuck, I'm hungry. I'm getting so hungry watching
Stress
these boys
eating.
run around. But then the best part is that then there's someone under it goes, "How did you realise that?" And our good mate on Reddit says, "Before the first bounce, he walked past us inside the fence, chomping on his wrap. So then we watched him at every break, and he was grabbing something else. Dad and I found it hilarious for some reason. So now every game, if we see him sitting on the bench, we keep track.
Nice.
Like, what a way to watch a game. Just be like, oh, you scored another point. Yeah, but Damien just got another wrap.
You can tell how well the team's doing by how much he's eating.
Today he's at 18 wraps. I hate to see him on grand final time. 14 pies, 18 wraps.
Nice.
That's bloody good.
Nah, fun times, isn't it?
It is. So, Tim, I think, like, obviously, being the complete guide to Australia, we've also just delivered the complete guide to the AFL and the NRL.
Absolutely. Look, to all the sports boys playing on the weekend, best of luck to you. Break a leg.
Yeah. And don't actually break a leg.
Chookers for the big show.
You know, if they break a leg, they'll kill him. They shoot
Yeah.
him. It's
That's true, actually. Yeah.
can't be used. They send off to the glue
Yeah.
factory. Just listen here, all right, boys. Here we go. Just don't be dickheads,
Yeah.
all right?
No, don't fuck around.
No place for dickheads on the sports field, is there? So for anyone that actually cares about the game, if you listen to our podcast, good for you.
Yeah.
Adelaide Crows versus Richmond is on the 30th of September at the bloody MCG.
That's Saturday for people who work by day names.
You can use the hashtag AFLGF. My AFL girlfriend is what that stands for. And the NRL Grand Final is on Sunday at 7:15 p.m.
Do we know who's in that one yet?
That one is the Melbourne Storm versus the North Queensland Cowboys.
Ooh.
Ride 'em cowboy, eh?
Cowboy sport boys.
Like a rhinestone cowboy. So yeah, I've been told I have to watch the AFL. I don't think I have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably watch it. But
Yeah, it is the grand final, and literally we're getting a day off for it.
Yeah. We'll watch it.
It's the game that stops a nation. Tim,
Yes.
I have some dad advice for you.
You have dad advice for me, or you have a
yes,
letter?
for you. Don't be a dickhead. But I've also got a letter here.
Right.
Shall we
Yes, we shall.
jump into dad advice? I said that like it was gonna happen.
That's the theme music. We don't have theme music for this one.
Dad advice. Hi, Tim and Leon. Hello.
Howdy.
My name is Davo. Like, my name's actually Davo, not David.
Oh,
And I'm 15.
okay.
You got the short end of the stick,
He's
mate.
Chris and Davo. Nice. Okay.
What do you want to call him? Oh, Davo.
Yeah.
At school, the boys have started sack whacking each other again.
Oh no, it always starts up, doesn't it? So
It does. You know when you hit your mate in the nuts. Like, he's obviously explaining a sack whack. For anyone who doesn't know what a sack whack is, it's where you smack your friend in the nuts. It's not an aggressive thing.
it's a very specific way of doing it as well. It's
a flick of the wrist.
Flick of the wrist. Yeah.
You don't punch him in the nuts. That's just mean. If you want to
Yeah.
hurt someone, you punch him. You flick him. You want your finger to graze their testicles.
And you can't keep your hand there too long because otherwise, touch another man's nuts. That's come on.
Come on. You're fondling some nuts.
Yeah.
And so the letter continues, which is all fine and whatever, but I've just kind of never understood why. And wouldn't it be better to not be in fear all day that your nuts will get hit? Valid. Basically, how do I tell my mates to stop? And what could we do instead? Cheers for the advice, and thanks for making such a good show. I listened to it during history. Keep being dabulous.
Dabulous. Rightio. Davo, mate. Davo, listen to me for a second, mate. No, put down the fucking PlayStation and listen to me for a second.
Get rid of your Sega Genesis.
I'm fucking sick of this these gaming stations you've got. You bloody don't listen. Look, mate, as far as I'm concerned, you need to harden up. You need to have a spoonful of concrete and harden the fuck up because it's not... this is all mateship, isn't it? And if you
camaraderie.
It's all about learning how life is, and these are the mates. You got to join in. Otherwise, they're going to ostracize you, mate. That's a big word for me. Ostracize.
Make an emu out of you.
I imagine it's an ostrich exercising, and that could be you, mate. No, look, there's no way to get out of it. It's part of our growing up.
I used to wake up early and watch Ostracize before Cheese TV.
Yeah. Maybe chuck a sock down the front of your undies just to give yourself a bit of protection, or wear a cup.
Yeah, so that when your mate Steve-O hits you in the nuts, breaks his finger. Fuck you, Steve-O, you dickhead.
I came prepared.
And then Steve-O's got to go to the hospital. How'd you break your fingers? Well, I tried to hit my friend in the nuts.
Yeah.
Look, Davo, mate, put the iPad down. Hey, don't look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I'll take a different approach, Davo. Like, it is part of growing up because you've got to understand that in life. The world's just waiting to hit you in the nuts at any moment.
That's true. Oh, God, how true it is.
You want to be prepared. But, it's fun. But, mate, if you want him to stop, just tell him. Don't be afraid. Just walk in and say, "Oi, Steve-O, how about you don't hit me in the nuts?" Which, I know it sounds logical, but what could you do instead? Mate, you could smack him in the back of the head.
Yeah.
You could flick him in the ear. That was a real good one to piss people off.
Yeah.
Or you could make a blow dart out of a pen and shoot it into the back of your friend's leg.
Yeah.
Not that I ever did that.
What? Pick up a stick and hit him really hard across the back of the knees.
You want to get a car and just drive it at Steve.
Yeah. Just don't stop hitting until his eyes are closed and
drive forward and back. Because that's the way you really show him that you love him, mate.
yeah. It's mateship, isn't
It's
it?
real
It's just a couple mates having a good time.
Couple of mates hitting each other with cars. You want to get a tank.
Anyway, Davo, hopefully that helps. Probably not, though.
And also, obviously, yes, listen to our podcast in history because we do the best history
Oh, yeah.
about Australia.
I've been told by nobody that my 5-minute rundowns are very good.
Historians will study our podcast for years to come saying, what the fuck are they talking about? Good on you, Dave. Have a good one, mate. And try get your name changed to David when you're older. So, Tim.
Yes.
To quickly and briefly wrap up our show.
Yeah, mate.
Last night was the closing of your
final show.
Your show.
That is correct.
It was a cracker. I saw it 4 times,
Yes.
and I loved every minute.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you, and all that shit. And you've got your show.
I do. Starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow
Fuck.
/ today, as people are listening to it. It's on probably within an hour after this will be released.
Yep. If we could not talk about that, that'd be good.
Nah, but if you're in Melbourne, come see it. It's going to be a crap show. Hey,
it's a real shit show.
That's a spicy meatball.
It is. It's only $15 or $10 if you're in concession.
Yeah, come see the show, mate.
Get
come
onto it. Or $8 if you're in concession. I don't remember. Anyway, come along and enjoy the show. And you know where to find all the details. Also, as we said, we're on the Auscast Network now. So that's Oz as in AUSCAST.
Oh yeah, there's some good shows on there as well.
There is. You can find them all at AuscastNetwork.com. Just some of the shows. You got the Bad Cast, Role Models with Jared Walsh, Innate Awareness. Is this movie for you? Psychosynthesis. I could go on, but I won't.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of work with those guys as well. We're already chatting to some of them about doing some time together.
Doing the hard yards.
Yeah.
So go check those out. Like them on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if they have Instagram, but Twitter and stuff. We'll post all the links to them as well. And just give them some love because they're giving us some love. Now, and also you may hear before or after episodes now just some little ads, but don't be afraid. They're meant to be there. And that means that we can host our podcast for $0.
And buy the products.
Yeah, buy the products. They're bloody good.
Whatever they are. I have no idea what they're going to be.
So, thanks as always to Teylor Smirl, Smirly T Smirl, for our wonderful cover art.
And to Curtis Fernance, Fern Tree Music on Facebook for the outroduction music.
Yep.
Now, cheers for that, Curtis.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, nah.
And thanks everyone for listening and getting us to where we are today.
Yeah.
I am now going to. I did want to say I'm going to go curl up in bed, but my parents are here, so I'm going to go do stuff, even though I'm hungover as shite.
Yeah, I have to go to the city and meet my mum and sister, so I feel like shit. Anyway,
hurrah!
Everyone have a lovely week.
Please do, and enjoy the bass tones that come out of us for this episode. So, as always, yeah, g'day Tim.
Yeah, g'day Leon.
Yeah, g'day everyone.
Yeah, g'day everyone. Catch you on the flippity flop.